We have some tragic breaking news. Donald Trump's military parade on June 14th was a disappointing, underwhelming disaster in 50 different ways, but we now have a confirmed death caused directly by Trump mobilizing the troops into DC for this overall weak parade. I want to talk about this confirmed death, how it happened, and I want to talk about Trump's repeated disrespect for veterans, for the military, etc. Let's start with this clip about his new strict guidelines regarding veterans getting health care. It is despicable, and make sure you drop a like below.
Donald Trump and Republicans love veterans, right? That's what I've always been told, that they love veterans. They seem to imply that Democrats don't, but the Republicans definitely love veterans. Unless those veterans are Democrats or unmarried. According to this new piece from The Guardian, extremely disturbing and unethical new rules allow VA doctors to refuse to treat Democrats and unmarried veterans. Doctors at VA hospitals nationwide could refuse to treat unmarried veterans and Democrats under new hospital guidelines imposed following an executive order by Donald Trump. The new rules obtained by The Guardian also apply to psychologists, dentists, and a host of other occupations. They have already gone into effect in at least some VA medical centers. So it works like this. Medical staff are still required to treat veterans despite their race, color, religion, and sex, and all veterans remain entitled to treatment. However, individual workers are now free to decline care for patients based on personal characteristics not explicitly prohibited by federal law. So what does that mean? It means language requiring healthcare professionals to care for veterans regardless of their politics and marital status has been explicitly eliminated. Also, doctors and other medical staff can be barred from working at VA hospitals based on their marital status, on their political party affiliation, or even union activity. And we're talking about like chiropractors, certified nurse practitioners, optometrists, podiatrists, licensed clinical social workers, and speech therapists can just lose their job because they're a registered Democrat, or because they're just not married. When you claim to care about veterans, to care about the fact that these people, regardless of their political party affiliation, served their country, many of them got injured doing so, and now you want to deny them care because of who they might vote for?
It genuinely pisses me off, and let me tell you, I have debated a lot of Republicans who claim that Trump loves the veterans. Biden purposefully killed 13 veterans in Afghanistan, which is a complete lie for many reasons. But you can just look at Trump's actions and rhetoric surrounding veterans. He's called them suckers, losers, made fun of John McCain. Even if you want to look at more recent history, they cut over 80,000 employees from the VA, which hurt some of our most vulnerable veterans. And then they mobilize the National Guard, the Marines, make them sleep on the ground. Donald Trump then makes the troops walk through DC. There are even theories that the troops purposefully phoned it in, that they were purposefully kind of walking in a slow, disjointed way because they didn't want to be paraded around the way that Trump was using them, as toys or as pawns. I've seen this theory floated around by a lot of people who have worked high up in politics saying the army is usually a lot more coordinated. The troops are usually a lot more coordinated. And, you know, this comes to what happened in the days following. A truck carrying a tank after the Army's 250th birthday parade killed a pedestrian in D.C. The unintended consequences of Donald Trump's pure authoritarian showmanship. A truck carrying one of the Army M1 Abrams tanks that participated in President Trump's parade in honor of the service's 250th birthday struck and killed a woman in Washington. The accident occurred on the evening of June 16th, 2 days after the parade, on New York Avenue while a contract truck driver was hauling the tank from the West Potomac Park staging area to a rail yard in Maryland. And nobody is talking about this. The mainstream media is not covering this. The woman's name has not been named, but I also want to talk about this veteran right here who gives his experience serving under Trump and exposes a lot. If you want to help boost this message, make sure you subscribe below. The comment of the day reads, "Keep up the informative news, Adam. This needs to be amplified." If you want to help amplify the message, make sure you subscribe, and let's check this out.
I'm a Marine veteran. I served in the first Trump administration. My leave day was the same day he was elected president. I ended up being in an infantry unit forward deployed to Japan. This was when Kim Jong-un was shooting missiles over Japan, so we were told to get ready for war. This is because not only was Kim Jong-un shooting missiles over us, but Trump was calling him Rocket Man and all these types of names and making fun of him instead of talking to him like a leader. Now, I joined to serve and protect my country. That was my reasoning, to fight for your rights. It's just what I believed in. And if I had to give my life to make a world a better place, I was okay with that. Trump is doing all this big talk about how we would destroy their military. I have never defied any command ever given to me in the Marine Corps. I even had a leadership position. But Trump's inability to lead but also provoke tension was not something I could follow or go along with. I think I vaguely said, well, I'm expected to kill North Korean soldiers because their leader is an idiot and our leader is also incompetent. I'm not going. And I was threatened with 25 years in military prison because somebody told on me. And here we are yet again with Trump and the administration, and we're forcing Marines who signed up for your rights to fight for your freedoms. We protect you to intimidate and antagonize.
Really quickly, first and foremost, people take an oath to the Constitution over any specific leader. So what he's saying here is true. You can't just follow the orders of the president when it goes against the Constitution.
This is the worst leader America has ever had. I've always said Trump is a great talker, but he's a terrible leader. And every time he gets in office, we have protests, buildings start burning down. All of a sudden, it's the federal government against its citizens again. And who is standing up for this? There was no gain. There was only pain, misery, and wrongness. Marines, we're trained to take orders. Would I have gone to the North Korean War? Maybe. But at that time, my morals were bigger than any command anybody could have given me because I knew it was wrong. I signed up to take out the bad guys, not to be the bad guy. We're 6 months into this administration already, and we're already on fire again. So America, I ask you, is this the future you want for your kids? Is this the leadership you think is going to take you to the promised land?
Obviously, it is not the leadership when this dude is currently cutting tens of thousands of VA jobs, and the VA had to say its job cuts will limit doctor and nurse resignations. Do not let Republicans gaslight you and say that Donald Trump cares about vets and that Democrats don't, when Democrats have fought on a daily basis to make sure that veterans have the health care needed, or even 9/11 first responders. This is a really potent example because someone like Jon Stewart has spent their entire public career, well, I guess since 2001, fighting for the first responders to make sure that they have coverage and health care as they die from asbestos and the leftover effects. And Republicans are the ones that constantly strip that funding away and claim that that funding, it's just a give out. It's a handout to 9/11 first responders, people who put their lives on the line for our country. Or what about Canada? Canadians also put their lives on the line for the United States post 9/11. They mobilized, and Trump just disrespects Canada. The reason why I'm talking about 9/11 in Canada isn't because it's unrelated, but it's because every single time a group of people put their lives on the line for the United States, Trump just disrespects them. He doesn't care, and it's because he's a malignant narcissist with no reality tests around him. No walls around him. He just wants mirrors, so it's himself all the time. Me, me, me. He's addicted to the media. He's addicted to saying outrageous things and capturing headlines, and we need to relentlessly push back. If you appreciate the work we do on this channel, if you appreciate Mockler Media, drop a like, subscribe. Love you all. See you in the next video. Peace out.